I will tell you my story. You may have heard similar stories before, because this story is as old as the desire for power itself. It happened during the first year of my studies at the famous University of Magic in the royal town of Moharn. My father, a country nobleman and governor of a remote province which you've probably never heard of, decided to spend the remaining part of our family fortune on the uncertain chance that I would develop a talent which I showed as a little boy. At that time, Warhargam, a warrior and legendary hero of the battle atop Skeldal Magic Tower, took over the governing of Moharn. Two friends of mine, Alisk and Kalak, were my companions in more than one drinking bout in our carefree student life. It was on a night like that it happened. My guardian angel looked away for a minute, and when he looked back, I was no longer there. That evening, Warhargam was the subject of our conversation. It had been clear for a long time that he was not the honest hero that he seemed to be in the beginning. There were too many strange things going on around him. His origin was a mystery. He couldn't explain why no one ever returned from Skeldal, and his rule had slowly changed into dictatorship. At the university, he was the subject of many discussions and speculations. However, his name was uttered with fear and silent apprehension. Although it was clear to me that Warhargim was a role model to Alisk, just as he was to many other cadets of the military academy, I couldn't help myself, and I said out loud, which was only whispered at the university back then. A terrible quarrel broke out. The arguments grew louder and turned into insults, and in the end, in spite of Kalak's sincere efforts to end the quarrel peacefully, threats were made. Alisk did not see or did not wish to see the obvious, but I didn't care back then. His last threat was so insulting that it made me jump to my feet and leave. That's how it all should have ended, but someone was eavesdropping. The next morning, at Warhargim's orders, someone's hands ripped me away from my life and threw me into some other, different, strange, and cold place.
For slander, for disrespect for the law, for subverting order, I hereby sentence you to a life of banishment on Corvi Tricoli.
Look, they're sending us fresh meat from Moharn.
Well,
What are you in for?
to tell you the truth, I don't know how I got here at all. It's all so confused. It's probably just a mistake. I'm sure they'll work it out soon.
You're wrong. If they took a day off my sentence every time I heard that, I'd have been free for a long time now.
And why exactly are you here?
I'm justly serving my sentence
What for?
for remembering.
For what?
for remembering.
And, how long have you been here for that memory?
I don't remember anymore. You see, I'm trying to make amends.
I'm not gonna be here for long.
I'm sure you're not. I give you 5 days at best.
Do you think it'll be that fast?
Absolutely.
That my case will be investigated and they'll set me free?
No. I think you'll die.
That's nonsense. I'll get out of here somehow.
I don't have to listen to this kind of crap, boy.
Good morning.
Good? Are you kidding? Why exactly should this morning be any good, huh?
I'm sorry, I Only meant it as a greeting.
We have no good mornings here, but you will soon learn that yourself.
Is it really so bad here?
It's worse than bad.
What are you in for?
Look, curiosity killed a cat, and you don't have 9 lives.
I only wanted to...
It doesn't matter what you wanted. Leave me alone.
I should think about this once more. It'd be dangerous to run away now that I can't use magic. Excuse me?
What's going on?
I'd like to talk to the commander of the camp, or someone else I can discuss my case with.
What did you say you want?
To discuss my case. You see, my arrest was a mistake.
Oh, look at this. So he's innocent.
Exactly. And that's why...
Shut up and get back to the hut. You're never gonna get out of here, got it?
But...
Get lost.
A hole fitted with bars. I wonder what it's used for. The dead tree that holds the Shangren crystal.
Hey, you! What are you doing up there? Get out of there!
The great Shangren crystal. It's almost impossible to perform any magic in its radiance. Nothing.
Hey, you!
Psst. Hey, you!
You're new to this place, aren't you?
I am, and I have a feeling that no one's especially keen on talking to me.
Don't be surprised. It takes a while here before people start trusting each other.
And you trust me.
Well, not exactly, but let's say that inexperienced boys are my weakness.
I'm not inexperienced.
Oh, sure you are. I can tell these things quite accurately.
Sure.
Look, if that's all, I'll go work on my return home.
You think you can get home this way?
Maybe. So far, I'm quite happy with being alive and not being hungry as often as others.
At this price?
That's a matter of taste, honey. Bye.
Nothing. An interesting character. It's strange that out of all the people here, I like a former prostitute best. She can get closer to the guards than anyone else. That might come in handy in the future. The dead tree that holds the Shangren crystal.
Hey, you!
A good idea, but the time hasn't come yet. I'm going to need this bowl for something else. An empty cage. I'm surprised it's not way more rusty in this dampness. I think it won't hang there much longer. The iron peg that holds the door is too strong. Also, it would be too dangerous to open the door right now.
Please, water.
A sunny, deserted spot. Under different circumstances, I'd lay down here and take a rest. That duffel bag, it probably belongs to that cheerful guy. Nothing. Hello.
Greetings, friend. It's great to see a new face here. Even though I'm sure you'd rather be somewhere else, wouldn't you?
Finally, someone cordial.
Cordial. That's my middle name.
I wonder what your secret is. Everyone around here is broken, and you're overflowing with optimism.
It's easy. It's all in your head. You either submit yourself to it, or you manage to gain something positive even from this misery.
Amazing. I probably couldn't manage it myself, but you have my admiration nonetheless. What are you actually in for?
Oh, it's a sad story. You see, I had a friend, and I found out he was a thief. And since he was a good friend, I was trying to talk him out of it rather than going straight to the guards. And that bastard got scared and he set me up. And before I knew it, I was here.
So you're innocent too?
I am, but no one believes me.
Listen, has anyone ever tried to escape from here?
There's been a couple of attempts so far, but why are you asking?
I don't intend to stay here forever. So, were any of the attempts successful?
It's hard to say.
What do you mean, hard to say?
Often, no body is found.
I see, but theoretically, is it possible?
I'd say that it definitely is.
Thanks. It's been a while since I heard some good news like this.
You're more than welcome. And if you're planning something, come see me. I could give you some advice, and who knows? I could even join you if the plan's good.
Excellent. I'll definitely come back. Nothing. The dead tree that holds the
Hey, you! What are you doing up?
If someone was hidden in that dense thicket, the guard would stand no chance of seeing him.
Hey, who's over there? Come out, you sod, or I'll go and get you. You asked for it.
Ah, the barracks where the guards live. A burnt-out campfire. A small... It's a shame they don't have a ladder around here. It would come in handy right now. That's too risky. The guard can... That's too risky. The guard... Here you are. Drink.
be trouble. You beggar, so you think you're gonna steal water, huh? 3 days in the slammer, that's what you'll get so that you remember that there's no stealing here, you filth. And have a good look around down there. And as I look at that ugly mug of yours, I guess you'll be there all the time.
That was very silly, boy. Noble, but silly.
So, have you met Rat already?
How was I supposed to know? Don't they all stick together here?
Together? No way. Everyone is doing his time for himself here. And how are you supposed to know? Well, how are we supposed to know that you're not a spy yourself?
You mean there are actually more of those? Aren't all the illnesses, animals, and heat enough? Why would people make it even worse by playing nasty tricks on each other? How can anyone survive here?
Well, it's not easy. But I'll give you some good advice. Take a cue from this old man here. He's been here longer than all of us combined. Eat only what he eats. Avoid people and places he avoids. Say only what he says, and perhaps you'll live longer than 5 days.
Is it true, what he said? Have you been here longer than the others?
It is true, boy.
How long?
10 years.
And the others?
Rat has been here the longest, about 5 years. He got here, what a surprise, for snitching. He denounced the chief of his gang, but what he didn't know was that the chief had the Moharn constable completely on a leash. The others typically survive a couple of months, maybe a year if they're lucky.
How can a person survive here?
You can begin with not going around the camp, asking everyone about escaping. Avoid the outskirts of the camp. A creature from the swamp shows up there every now and then. Especially avoid the place to the right of the cages. That's where the snakes like to bake in the sun. Well, and finally, try not to make the guards angry. The next term you'd get would be longer, and you wouldn't necessarily survive it. And before I forget, avoid the forbidden cell.
Forbidden cell?
Yeah.
What's in there?
No one knows. But it's rumored that even the guards are afraid to go there.
What are you in for anyway, old man?
As I said, for remembering.
Yes, you said so. But it doesn't make sense. No one goes to jail for remembering.
Well, the thing is, I lived in Polito some 30 years ago. That's about 3 days by horse to the north of Moharn. A cruel bandit was raising hell in the land back then. He was always robbing us with his band, raping our women, and killing everyone who would dare to defy him. He'd even kill those who didn't stand up to him at all. And his greed grew with the size of his gang. The local guard was powerless, so we got some money together and hired a gang even worse and rougher than the one he led. They called themselves Shutter High. They got him in the end and handed him over to the guard. As they were leading him to the gallows, people from the surrounding villages gathered there. Everyone wanted to spit on that scum. Seemed he wasn't afraid at all. He despised us even at that moment, and as the hangman was tying a noose around his neck, he shouted that he'd wait for us in hell. And then the strangest thing I've ever seen happened. Blue rays of light surrounded his body, and when they disappeared, he was no longer there.
He disappeared just like that?
Exactly like that. We still don't know how he did it. In any case, no one has heard a thing about him since then. Life just went on, and the land went back to normal. When I had to go to Moharn to attend to some business 30 years later, I saw the bandit there once again. He was Wahargam, the governor of the city, and he was celebrated as the hero who saved the world. I recognized him at first sight, but what's worse is that he somehow, I don't know how, recognized me. They arrested me the very same evening and sent me right here. They didn't even bother with a trial.
I knew it. I never liked that aggressive pig.
Quiet! I hope you confided your opinion to someone else, too.
I sure did. The same day I was arrested.
Now you're getting it, huh?
Poor old man. He's stuck here just because he once used to know a criminal. Who would have thought that Rat was a snitch?
I could tell blindfold that Rat was a snitch.
How come?
You see, I used to be a royal official. I can tell a snitch by his smell, and believe me, Rat stinks to high heaven.
How does a royal official turn into a royal prisoner?
Easy. Hearing what he's not supposed to hear is enough. By the way, the king has nothing to do with my imprisonment.
And who does?
Wahargam. Who else?
How come?
You see, I once overheard a conversation between Wahargam and someone else. They were planning to remove the wizards.
Who was the other guy?
I don't know. I didn't see him. I only know his voice was quiet and cold. It sent shivers down my spine. I think he was some sort of a secret aide to Wahargam.
You said an aide. This royal clerk is clear proof of what a crook this Wahargam is. I'd have a bite, but I have enough troubles already. When I just think of the 3 days I spent in that hole, my knees start to shake.
Hey, who's over there? Come out, you sod, or I'll go and get you.
Should I eat it? There's no time for this now. The guard will be back soon. I've put a roast in the bag. What a surprise that's gonna be for Rat. Who would have thought he'd be such a rat? Boy, does he deserve his name. I'm gonna get rid of him somehow.
Oh, my savior, thank you for the water. I am sorry for the trouble.
Trouble? I don't think that's exactly the right word. I almost died in that hole.
I'm deeply sorry, truly. In fact, we both paid for it. I was given an extra 5 days in the cage for receiving water from you.
And why did they really jail you?
I prefer not to talk about it right now, if you don't mind.
Okay, I understand.
Confess that you did it, you prick.
What? What happened?
Don't you try to pretend that you don't know. You got hungry, didn't you? You'd already quenched your thirst, and then you got an appetite for the roast, right?
Me? I'd have to be stupid to do that. I just got out of the slammer.
Don't try to talk your way out of it. Who else could have done it? You're the one who roams around here all the time.
It wasn't me, I swear. Go ahead and search me. And while you're at it, why don't you also search Rat? I've seen him here, too.
What are you trying to pull here? Why would Rat do it?
Well,
Well, if that sucker really stole it out, come with me. Hi, Rat. Show us that bag of yours.
What? Why? Why me?
Rat, you just can't get enough.
But that's not mine.
Oh, so it's not yours. I never liked you, Rat. I hate tattlers almost as much as I hate this bloody place. Up to now, you've been useful at least, but now you've really gone too far. You'll go to the cage for this.
Get in.
Hell, Rat. You're so fat that even that iron cage can't support you. Who do you think is going to put all this back together? Now I'm really pissed off, Rat. You'll rot in that hole, that's what I'm telling you.
so the bastard is finally in the hole where he belongs.
Excellent. Although I doubt it's going to help us in any way.
It's not, but it gives you a certain feeling of satisfaction.
If you think so.
I do. So, what exactly did they put you in the cage for?
I'm a druid.
That's wonderful. I never met a druid. Although in school, my professor of alternative magic did mention druids during class.
Alternative magic. That's a nice expression.
So what did you do to get jailed? Don't tell me they put you in jail just because you're a druid.
Well, yes. That's exactly what happened.
I don't get it. Why?
It's always been the same reason. They are afraid of us.
Afraid? But why? I mean, there's no magic going on in the camp anyway.
But what we do is not magic.
What is it then?
Oh, that's a long story, and I don't have the strength to tell you. But let's say the word that describes it best would be understanding.
Understanding?
Understanding nature, understanding laws, listening to and respecting all living things. Respect for the way of life, both your own and those of others.
And what about this are they afraid of?
Their knowledge of druids is very limited. They're probably afraid I could call an eagle and fly away on its wings.
Could you do it?
Don't be a fool. He couldn't even take off with me.
Well, that's true, but could you call the eagle?
I'm not sure about eagles. I mean, I don't even know if there are any eagles living nearby. But to answer your question, yes, I can talk to animals. At least some.
And can you give them orders?
I can only ask them.
And could you ask alligators to eat the guards?
Come on. In the first place, an alligator's mind is too full of rage to make it possible to talk to him. And then, I would never ask an animal to do something like that.
Oh, I see. Listen, I have a plan. Would you help me?
Caged up like this? Hardly.
Well, what if I could get you out of that cage?
Then I'll help you if I can.
Do you think that you could call enough birds so that they could carry the Shangren crystal? And take it far enough away for me to be out of its reach?
Maybe, if they had a way to hold it.
Okay, I'll think of something.
But how do you expect to do this right in front of the guards?
I can get rid of the guards, too.
One more thing.
Yes?
If I am to ask for something, I must offer a sacrifice. I must draw my strength from something.
What does that mean?
It means I will need some sort of offering for my ritual. Fruit of the earth, for example, grain, or something similar. And also mistletoe or oak as well.
Mistletoe? Grain? How am I supposed to get that here?
I don't know. But if you don't succeed, you could tell the guards about your trouble, and maybe then they will release me.
All right, I'll try. Psst. Hey, you!
What would you like?
I'd like to ask you a big favor.
Go ahead.
I want to get out, and I don't have quite the same opportunities that you do.
Yeah? So what?
I need you to put this in the warden's drink tonight.
Are you crazy? Why would I risk my life for you?
Come on, we both want the same thing, to get out of here. Maybe I could help you too this time.
Well, maybe. Look, if I get pregnant here, my chances are going straight into the toilet. It happened to one girl before, and I have nothing to protect myself with. Snakeskin would be great, but all the snakes here are poisonous. Listen, if you can get me a snakeskin, I'll see what I can do for you.
Snakeskin? You're not superstitious, are you?
And just where the hell do you think I'll put that snakeskin? And one more thing. I'd also like something for the girl who's pregnant. Something for an abortion. Do you understand?
What exactly?
Arsenic, and also knitting needles.
All right. Nothing. Nothing.
Hey, you!
Hey, you!
So, did you get it?
I did.
How about the arsenic? And the needles?
I didn't get those.
Ah, it doesn't matter. At least we have something. Give me that drink. I'll give it to them later. You go back to the hut in the meantime so that we don't look suspicious.
See, you idiot? This is how every snitch is gonna end up. A burning ca- Nothing. I should find something to scoop it up with. Nothing. Bets on newcomers. I can't believe this. On top of everything, they bet how long we'll survive? What? Just 3 days? Boys, you've underestimated me. We're dying of hunger, and they stuff themselves here. Books of the dead, records of everyone who came to the camp and perished. I wonder what's there that even the guards are afraid of it. Sacred symbols of different cultures and religions. They must have been hung here by a devout follower of the gods, or someone who wants to be at peace with every one of them. I recognize this drawing. I can't read all the symbols, but I'm almost sure that it's used as a barrier against the dark forces. This amulet has a sharp edge. That's incredible. So much fear of a single prisoner, and then they basically hang a knife here. Well, good for me. I'm sure it's gonna come in handy. Nothing.
Thank you. That's much better.
Who are you? And how can you live with your heart pierced?
It's very hard, and as far as your first question is concerned, I'm a wizard like you. Or it's better to say, like you will be one day.
Okay, but how come you're imprisoned here and chained to the rock? And what about the needles?
It's a long story. A little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Are you avoiding the question?
Set me free, and I'll give you any answer you want.
I don't know. There's gotta be a reason for your being here. Look, I'm also a wizard, and I'm not chained.
You? When it comes to magic, you're an ignoramus. No offense, but what spells have you cast since you came to the camp?
Nothing. And you?
Just look.
That's not... I thought the crystal...
You see, that is why they chained me up.
The Shanger crystal has no effect on you.
It does, but it can only swallow a certain amount of magic.
You must be really powerful then. But what about the needles?
Do you know how much effort it takes for me to just stay alive? I don't have much strength left to do anything else.
Okay, but why didn't they kill you right away?
They're afraid to do that, too.
It's strange that you can cause such fear that they're even afraid to kill you.
And they don't fear in vain. Set me free, and I'll help you escape. I can also teach you many things.
I'll think about it. I thought about it, and I think we could make a deal. Prove to me that you're willing to teach me, and I'll set you free.
How?
Teach me how to send a fireball.
Is it possible that a student of the University of Magic can't do such a basic thing?
It is, unfortunately. They only start teaching the offensive aspects of magic in the 4th semester.
Unbelievable. But why should I be surprised? That's exactly why the wizards from Mohan University are such weaklings. Well then, come closer and observe how simple this is. It's a basic spell with elements. You concentrate a certain amount of fire element, and you fill this spot right above your palm with it. The whole trick consists of protecting the energy from seeping into the environment. It's similar to the trick with the magic shield. The result is something like this.
I understand. As soon as I remove the crystal, I'll give it a try. I better stay away from him.
Where are you going? We had a deal.
Look, I know who you are. I realized it when you were talking with such contempt about Mohan University. You are Galquin. You entered the grounds of the university 50 years ago and you killed many students. You even killed several professors before you were caught. They believed you were long dead, but it seems people like you don't die so easily. I'm not going to help you. Not because of what you did back then, but because I know your reputation. I know I wouldn't live much longer afterwards.
You were wrong. Let me go and I'll make you a powerful wizard.
No,
I damn you then.
I can live with that. Goodbye.
You'd better pray for this to be goodbye.
I'll be grateful to her for what she did for me till the end of my days. And God knows I wish I could be grateful to her for a long, long time. Nothing. 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 I got those needles.
Good boy.
I got you that arsenic.
Clever boy.
Would cork do instead of oak?
But cork is an oak.
Really?
Of course, there are hundreds of oak trees. For example, this one is Quercus subera.
Of course. Subera. How could I have forgotten? I don't have any grain. Would flour do?
Certainly.
Nothing. Nothing. Everything's ready, Druid. We can start.
I enter with a wish for life. Mother, you who give life that defines the sense of being. Nature, you who listen to the needs of the living and give order to life. Sun, you who watch over the universe and fill it with certainty. I ask you, Mother of us all, receive this gift and call on those who rule the clouds to serve us.
Yes, you've done it. I feel my magic is back. Why are you crying?
I can hear their cry.
Whose cry?
They have fulfilled my wish, and now they are lying somewhere dying of exhaustion.
Oh, I see. The birds. Can we help them somehow?
It's too late.
I'm sorry. Poor old... A place of sorrow and suffering, a monument to the tyranny of Wahargam. Nothing. A statue of a horse made of the bones of various creatures, perhaps even humans. I wonder who could live here.
You surprised us. You have successfully resisted all our efforts to turn you into one of our servants.
I hope you don't take it personally.
Looks like you are a wizard too. We're interested in that trick you used in front of the gate.
You're interested?
Yes. Teach us that trick.
What do I get for it?
What would you like?
How about me teaching you how to send a fireball, and you teaching me how to raise a skeleton? Then we'll just shake hands as friends, and each of us will go his own way. Although maybe we could skip the handshake part.
I agree.
Wonderful.
Well then, let's begin. Excellent. You learn fast.
You're not too bad yourself.
Thank you, young wizard.
And now?
And now, you will die.
You rotter.
Kill him.
Nothing. This is probably how they transport heavy objects to the upper floor of that stone building. It'll just burn out this way. I can't do that now. The lift is up. Hut's made of wood. It'll just burn out this way.
I damn you.
Why don't you get in line? Negotiating the evil and hostile moorlands of Corvi Tricoli was only the beginning of my journey. It took nearly a month to pass through the cold rocks of the Mountains of Gloom, and at least 3 times longer to travel through the hot sands of the desert of Moharn. At the end of eternity, the Moharn of Night offered the outlaw its empty embrace. Unanswered questions hung above the visitor like the sword of Damocles and warned cracked lips not to give shape to the words. It was perhaps for the legacy of the once vibrant community which was now a mere shadow of itself that my first steps led to the university. This familiar place suddenly seemed so strange, and empty chairs at empty tables so unnatural. And then suddenly, he was sitting there. He appeared without a single sound, as though his existence began right here at my table. He looked like the statue above the main stairway at the University of Magic. It was impossible to believe, yet Nimith, one of the first sorcerers in the world, was sitting in front of me. The one who fought alongside the people in the Great War. The one who stood up to the gods. The one who speaks to dragons. That evening, I sat in the pub with a legend whose greatest deeds were older than the large and powerful kingdom of Arte. We talked for a long time. He told me it was he who, after his agreement with the gods, trained the 5 sorcerers who then turned their backs on him and built Skeldol. He was the one who taught the art of higher magic. He was the one who had mistakenly revealed the ritual of mastering the gate of the dimensions of Zohar. On top of this tragedy, his students were only half educated and conceited, and they would have lost control over the ritual in the end. He also revealed another ritual, the ritual Crow-Cane, that involves the delicate web of the destinies of all living creatures. He told me how he had secretly planted the ritual on an unknown scholar on the island of Rovenland, and how 3 warriors later emerged from the ritual to put an end to the threat hidden on the highest floor of Skeldol. Few understand how the ritual chooses its heroes. However, back then Warhargim was one of the 3 because his violent, cruel, and ruthless character had a chance to succeed at such a demanding task. When the sorcerers were defeated and the gate was locked, the power of the ritual receded, and Warhargim became the villain he has always been. It was towards dawn when Nimith finished his story. I realized that he, because of his mysterious agreement with the gods, couldn't do anything. He told me I couldn't return to university now, and that the answers to his questions would bring me to Rovenland. In the end, he started to utter magic spells I'd never heard, and that was the last time I saw him. Someone made a great deal of effort and boarded up all the doors and windows. A fountain full of water. It's a pity there are no coins on the bottom. Ouch, damn. It's pitch dark here. Ouch, damn. It's pitch dark here. Hideous altar indeed, made of some kind of hardwood. There are cracks in several places, and there's some sort of mechanism behind them. Nothing. Merchant's goods. In fact, it's all junk, but who knows? They might come in handy one day. Merchant's goods. Nothing.
Greetings, young man. Excuse me for being so curious. Where do you come from? I've never seen you before, and I thought the gorges were still closed, or aren't they now?
Gorges? I really don't know.
How did you get here then?
Here? What do you mean here?
Here, in the southern part of Rovenland.
Oh, I see. You mean Rovenland. I've been in Rovenland several weeks already.
How come I haven't seen you here before?
So far, I've been fine with my supplies, but I need to restock them now.
You are in the right place then. My improvised store is ready to serve you. Although, ever since the Karadbar Guard closed the gorges because of the bandits, my stock is limited. I'll try my best to help you nevertheless.
Thank you. Listen, Are there so few people here that you can remember all of your customers?
I would say I know everyone who lives in the southern part of the island. You have to understand that people have only just now started coming back to this land, and mine is the only shop that's open here. By the way, may I know the reason behind your presence here in Rovenland?
Let's say I'm looking for the past and the answers to my questions.
I can only repeat that you have come to the right place. The island of Rovenland has a rich history. Are you looking for anything particular?
I don't know. Perhaps. I think I'll know when I see it.
All right then. In the meantime, let me welcome you here as an esteemed customer.
Greetings, merchant. Greeting. Greeting. What did you mean when you said people are only beginning to return to Rovenland?
Wherever you come from, young man, you must have heard about what happened here 10 years ago. The legend of the 5 wizards in the Tower of Skeldal who were experimenting with the dark forces has spread all around the world, I'd say.
You're right.
It all started with a huge massacre here in the Invisible City. People left the city and the whole southern part of the island and moved, either to Karadbar in the more secure half or sailed right off to Rovenland. The mad wizards and their creatures then ruled the land for several more years. And it wasn't until after their defeat that the land became secure again. Some wounds take a long time to heal, though, and it will take a while before the island is fully inhabited again.
Greetings, merchant. And what about Skeldal? Is it still standing?
It is, but it's falling apart rapidly.
Have you ever visited the place yourself?
I only saw Skeldal from a distance. There's never been anything natural about the tower. It's better to avoid it altogether. Even its decay is strange. Some walls, after they collapse, stay suspended in the air for weeks without being supported. That isn't normal, is it?
Greetings, What's the name of this city?
No one remembers what it was called before, but now they call it the Invisible City. You see, it was invisible during the time one of the 5 wizards was staying there, and the name just stuck.
It looks run down. How many people live here?
About 100, but you have to include the occasional residents in that number. Woodcutters, some hunters, and obviously the former owners sometimes send craftsmen over to repair their places before they move back.
And that's all? 100 people?
There's one more village westwards from here, but it's more of a hunter and woodcutter settlement. You see, there were some gold diggers who just looted the houses and left. They took everything that had some sort of value and they sold it. Yeah, they're gone now since there's nothing more to steal.
Greetings. You mentioned bandits?
Oh yes, bandits. They showed up as soon as the settling started. They ambushed the caravans coming with loads to the city, or they robbed woodcutters and masons when they returned with the money they made to Karadbar. Believe me, to ambush someone is not a problem for them at all. There's basically no one in the area who could prevent them from doing it, and all that the city guard has managed to do is close the gorges. It doesn't help anything, if you want to know my opinion. Those crooks will just hide somewhere and wait, and if they happen to be hungry, they'll just come out of the woods and take the little that we still have left. I recommend that you don't go west of the village anymore, since that's where they're believed to be hiding.
Greetings, merchant. Did you live here before the disaster?
No, I only moved here recently from Karadbar. You see, I'm a merchant and I go anywhere the occasion arises to sell anything to anyone, if you know what I mean. Besides, there is no competition here, since most of the merchants are either too scared to come or simply don't know much about the situation here.
I think when I push this wire through this crack and raise this latch... Nothing. Greetings, merchant. Nothing. Greetings. That smells terrible. How can you stand it?
Yeah, you get used to it.
I didn't mean to offend you.
Nah. That's all right. I don't get offended by that. I'm used to that, too.
Tell me, is the catch good here?
There's enough game. Especially since no one has hunted here for a long time.
So that must be heaven on earth for you as a hunter.
And I don't hunt myself. I buy the catch from other hunters. I tan the skin and then I sell it to the ships going to Rovenland. In case you want to make some money, I will be glad to buy your catch.
I'm not a hunter, but who knows? How much do you pay?
It depends. 70 guilders for bear skin, and for apaga skin, which is more precious and it's also harder to catch than apag, I can pay you 140 guilders.
That sounds good. I think I might be a hunter after all. Nothing. 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 This wood smells great.
Hello, young man. What can I do for you?
I'm planning to head west and passing through the gorge. But I heard about some bandits, so I thought I'd stop first and ask around.
Pshaw, bandits are the least of your worries out there, boy.
Is that so?
Absolutely. If you're lucky, you'll only be robbed of everything you have, but you may also encounter the beast.
The beast?
Exactly.
And what kind of beast is it?
I don't know. It's simply a beast. I've never seen it.
So how do you know it's out there?
From time to time, you can hear its evil barking, and judging by the sound of it, this beast must be giant.
And has it ever killed anyone?
Well, I don't really know.
So how do you know it's...
It is there, and that's it. And judging by that barking, it's no sweet puppy. Look, take me at my word or don't. That's up to you. You'll deal with the consequences.
I have no idea what to ask about. He doesn't know much about the beast. He doesn't seem to know much about the bandits either. And I've already bought the wooden beams.